Hello, good morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be having yet another delicious recipe with our unripe plantains. Remember when I talked about unripe plantains or plantains being a superfood? I promised you all that I was going to be uploading loads and loads of delicious plantain recipes. So today I have one. But before I get to the business of today, I'd like you to hit the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, it is youtube.com/Tastebudzng. So click the subscribe button right now, and then we can get on with the cooking of today. So like I mentioned, we are having a delicious unripe plantain recipe. By the way, it's a Nigerian cuisine. It's our Nigerian way of preparing fresh fish pepper soup and unripe plantains. So today you're going to watch me combine fresh fish, fresh catfish pepper soup with some delicious cubes of unripe plantain. If you go through some of my videos, that I have a recipe on how to prepare Nigerian catfish pepper soup. But today is going to be with a little twist. It's catfish pepper soup incorporated with some unripe plantain cubes. So I already have my cubed unripe plantains because I don't want to waste too much of your time. So I already cubed the plantains, which I'm going to show you now. And I'm going to run you through all the ingredients we're going to be using today. So here is my unripe plantain. This is my unripe plantain cubed. I first of all peeled off the skin, that's the green skin layer. I cut them into this nice looking cubes. So here I have my, I don't know, should I call it stock? I have this broth using uyaya pod. Today I'm going to be calling all this by its local names, because I really don't know what use it's going to be if I start looking for the English name of uyaya, because you're really not going to find it in specialty stores abroad. But if you are residing in Nigeria or Western Africa, I'm sure you must have come across this uyaya pods, right? This is what it looks like, okay? So I kind of chopped this and I crushed it in a with my mortar and pestle, and then I poured some water into a pot and then I brewed it. I cooked it for about 20 minutes to get this brownish liquid you see. By the way, this brownish liquid is super delicious. It smells heavenly. So this is the broth in which we're going to be cooking our catfish and unripe plantains. Now here is my catfish. I've already washed this catfish and I've cut them into big chunks. I have a video where I explain how to clean the slime off your catfish. So if you do not know how to get rid of the slime from your catfish, please visit my YouTube channel and watch the video on how to clean slime, or how to get rid of slime using just hot water and a bit of salt. How to get rid of lime from your catfish. So the video is up on my YouTube channel. You might want to look at that video. You might want to watch that video to understand how we got our catfish all cleaned up. So today I'm not going to go through that anymore, because I believe you know how to clean your catfish. So we're just going to get on with the business of cooking. So we have our catfish already cleaned, we have our unripe plantain cubes chopped, and we have our broth that was made from the uyaya pods. Okay? So I hope I'm not too fast. Now, these leaves you're seeing before me, it's the efirin leaves. In Yoruba, it's called efirin leaves. In Igbo, it's called nchang, but it's generally referred to as scent leaves in the Nigerian market. I don't know what that means, scent leaves, I don't know, but just ask for efirin or nchang or scent leaves in our local markets, and they're going to get you this. So you come back home, you pluck it, and you chop it. And we've got our red Scotch bonnet pepper. This is what it looked like before I chopped it. And I've got my ohiri spices here. Ohiri spices, this is what it looks like. Okay, and then I have a bit of bouillon cubes, no beef. I love using no beef in my pepper soup, it comes out really nice. And then I have here my ground dried crayfish. There is something really distinct about adding a bit of ground crayfish when you're preparing a fish soup or any kind of soup that contains fish. You know, it kind of helps to bring out the flavor of the fish. Remember, it's not compulsory, but if you do have the opportunity of adding a bit of ground crayfish into your soup dish, it will help bring out the flavor of the fish. So I've got here a bit of salt, yaya pod, I've talked about it, and this is what those the ephedrine leaves look like before I cut it up, okay, or before it. And I have here my Uda spices. The name is Uda spices, but it has an after bitter taste if you use too much of it and you don't want that to happen to your cooking. So in preparing a whole catfish, I think a piece of Uda or two should do. You can chop this with your mortar and pestle and toss it into the broth. And then I have here my ground red scotch bonnet pepper, and I have my onion blended. Okay, so these are basically everything we're going to be using for today's cooking. It's a very simple recipe. And I have over here my pot. Ta-da! So this is my pot, and I'm going to start off with the catfish. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want my plantain cubes to be seasoned in the broth of the fish soup. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare the catfish pepper soup, and when it's all set, I'm going to scoop out the fish, and then I'm going to introduce the unripe plantain cubes into it. So you're going to watch me toss my fish into the pot. That's my fish, and I'm going to put the broth in. The broth I made with the oyaya pots or the oyaya stock. And then I'm going to introduce some pepper. So I'm going to be putting some water into our pot of soup so the fish can have enough water to simmer in. And remember, when you're cooking your fish or any fish meal, any meal with seafood, remember the heat, the temperature has to be really low. You know, seafood cooks with medium temperature. Seafood cooks with medium temperature. You don't want to cook it on high heat. Always remember that. When it cooks slowly, you have a very tender fish at the end of the day. Not just tender, but very delicious as well. So our catfish pepper soup is simmering, or it's about to start simmering. We have placed the catfish pepper soup on the gas top. So we're waiting for it to start bubbling. Remember what I said, whenever you're cooking seafood, remember to turn down your heat. You do not need high temperature to cook your seafood. It's never going to turn out well. Always remember to cook your seafood with very low heat. So we're going to wait for our catfish pepper soup to simmer, and when it's all cooked, which is going to be in about 10 minutes, we're going to scoop out the fish, and then we're going to be introducing the unripe cubed plantains into this broth. The reason why I want to cook my fish first is because I want the unripe plantain cubes to be very delicious. I want the unripe plantain cubes to absorb the broth of the fish soup. That is why I'm going to cook this fish first, scoop it out, and introduce my unripe plantain cubes. So I'm going to cover this pot now, and then we wait. So let's see how our catfish is faring. Woo! It's all set. I told you guys in like 10 minutes it's ready, sometimes less. Now our catfish is all cooked. I'm going to bring it out of the soup, and then I'll be introducing the unripe plantain, cubed unripe plantain into the broth. So I'm going to turn off the heat, okay? Then I'm going to scoop out our fish. And you see the catfish is not broken, it's whole. And that is also because I cooked it in very low heat. So remember, when you're cooking your catfish, you don't want to turn up the temperature of your cooking stove. You want to take it easy. And the most delicious part of this meal is the head of the catfish. I love the head of the catfish. Who likes the head? Let me know. Drop it in the comment section if you know you love catfish head. I love the head. And if you do like the head, you know it's very important to ensure this doesn't break. So you have to be very careful. Yum! We did it. That was a successful operation. Our catfish head came out in whole, it's not broken. So this is the broth of the soup. I'm going to be introducing, I'm going to be tossing in the cubed unripe plantain into this broth. Now it's going to cook and it's going to be super delicious. So remember guys, it is not the other way around. Cooking your plantain first before your catfish. No, it is cooking your catfish first, and then you introduced your plantain cubes, maybe your yam cubes. That's for another video. But for this video, you now know how to cook your unripe plantain in your pot of catfish pepper soup. So now our plantain is tossed into the broth of the catfish pepper soup, into the pot of catfish. We're now going to cover the pot and let this simmer for about 20 minutes. Why did I say 20 minutes? Unripe plantains are very tough. They're not as soft as yams, and they're not as soft or tender as ripe plantains. They are tougher. So we're going to let this simmer for a longer period of time as compared with the yam cubes or the ripe plantains. So I'm going to cover this up and we're going to watch this cook for about 20 minutes and then we'll get back to this. So let's see how our plantains are doing. By now, hopefully the plantains should be ready. That's it, it's cooked. So our plantains are all cooked. Our plantains are properly cooked now. You can tell by the coloring. It's a pale yellow or a very light shade of yellow. And I can practically see through it. So this is ready. And you can also have a taste, okay? To be very sure that the plantain has your exact texture. This is nice. This is exactly how I like my plantains. This is exactly how I love my unripe plantains in my pepper soup. It is tender and it tastes fishy because the broth of the fish has properly been absorbed by the plantains. So now I'm going to turn off the heat and I'm going to gradually toss in my already cooked catfish. Remember, we brought the catfish out. So I'm going to put it back into the soup. Yay, that's it. So I'm going to do this. Gradually, I'm going to put in the catfish back into our pepper soup pot. So gradually, I'm going to be very careful not to break the head. Yeah. That was very successful again. So now, the last but not the least, I'm going to put in the tail. That is the tail of our catfish pepper soup. So, remember that I had some sliced epinery leaves. So I'm going to put that in as a garnish and also to enhance the flavor of the soup. So this is it. And a tiny bit of chopped red Scotch bonnet pepper for coloring. This is really going to make our soup delicious. Remember, I have turned off the heat. Don't forget that. There you go. Our catfish pepper soup is ready. So I'm going to twist this up a bit I'm just going to swirl the pot a bit to ensure that our catfish is okay. So I'm going to do this so you all can see. Just ensure. So now this is all ready. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to twirl it around. It's never good to turn your pepper soup with a spoon. You might break your fish. Okay, so just do this. You twirl the pot around so the ephedrine leaves or the scent leaves get the heat of the soup, and that should suffice. The heat is enough to cook the ephedrine leaves, the heat from the soup. Okay. So that is it. Our catfish pepper soup is all set and it's ready to be dished. I hope you all enjoyed this segment of Cooking with Benedicta in Tastebudz Kitchen. Today you have learned how to prepare unripe plantains in your catfish pepper soup. Remember, I promised you loads of recipes using unripe plantains. So this is just one of them. We're still going to have another Nigerian recipe on how to use unripe plantains in the preparation of yet another meal. So this, I believe, was super easy. You can prepare this at home for your loved ones. So now I'm going to dish this and get it ready to be served. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get a notification each time we upload a new video, each time we go live to talk about healthy eating tips. So guys, thank you for watching. It's bye-bye Tastebudz Kitchen.